Hi, I'm Jeremy, and you're listening to Verse by Verse. So, my wife and I like to watch baking competitions. That's such a weird sentence to say. We live in an era of time when we don't just have a single televised baking competition, we have an entire genre of televised baking competitions. Anyway, it's something we enjoy watching together. It's fun to see the incredible things the bakers come up with when their time and options are limited. The trouble is, I'm not much of a baker, or a cook in general. But I watch the shows, I learn some of the terms, and I get an idea of what the right thing to do is and when to do it. And then I forget that I've never actually done any of that. So what happens is, 5 episodes into a season, I'm shouting at the TV screen, "No! Why wouldn't you blind bake that first?" Or, "She needs like 3 more turns if she wants to get any kind of lamination into that dough." Or, "Are you kidding me? You think a shoe bun has the structural integrity to hold that kind of filling?" Do you know what I'm really good at making? Pancakes. And that's pretty much it. Sometimes I'll get adventurous and try waffles. That's pretty much the beginning and the end of my culinary expertise, and I can't even guarantee I won't mess those things up. But sure, yeah, I can sit on my couch and criticize someone with more skill in their pinky finger than I have in my whole body, because I learned a few fancy terms and I've watched edited montages of other people doing the same thing. You put me in that same kitchen, give me the same job, and I guarantee I'd manage to set the whole workspace on fire in the span of 2 minutes. I forget that I'm not a baker. What does that have to do with today's verse-by-verse episode? Well, today we're looking at the end of a psalm. Psalm 9, verses 19 and 20. King David beseeches God to take action against the wicked nations who are opposing his divine will. He says, "Arise, O Lord. Do not let man prevail. Let the nations be judged in your sight. Put them in fear, O Lord, that the nations may know themselves to be but men." It's the last line that I really want to focus on. Put them in fear, O Lord, that the nations may know themselves to be but men. The Net Bible says, "Let the nations know they are mere mortals." As humans, we have the nasty habit of thinking we're more in control, more powerful than we really are. This idea of entire nations thinking they can challenge God's will and come out on top, they've forgotten that they're mere mortals. They've forgotten who they are and who God is. They're going to remember real quick when God rises up. The fear that comes from seeing God's incredible power in action has a way of reminding us exactly how small, how mortal we are in relation to Him. And you and I, even as Christians who believe in and obey God, if we start to lose that fear, that healthy respect for who God is and what He's capable of doing, we can start to turn into talentless cooks watching a baking competition. "Oh, why did God do that?" Or, "Why is God doing it this way?" Or, "I would have let that dough prove for at least 20 more minutes." We're not God. We don't have the power, the wisdom, or the perspective He has. We are but men, mortals, temporary physical beings who would set the whole kitchen on fire if we tried to do what God does. The book of Proverbs says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. At the very least, it'll keep us from challenging Him to a bake-off.
Verse by Verse is a companion podcast to the Daily Bible Verse blog, which you can find on the Life, Hope, and Truth Learning Center. Check out the show notes for more.